Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to Narcissu Sumire Akari story, chapter 3, Eye Lasers. Let's begin. No delay, let's begin. This is... In dim light, I slowly raise my body up. Is this the original room? My eyes grew accustomed to darkness. Bit by bit, I could make out my surroundings. It was a familiar looking room. The sensation of a bed my hands touched was also familiar. I was hit by a train. I should be dead. I still remember the scene. She had showed me off the platform and I was hit by the express. What a horrible person. As I muttered that, I was about to put my foot on the floor. You are?
教えたでしょ。そこから降りると死ぬわよ。
Alright. Now that she mentioned it, I think that was one of the first things I had heard.
カリアドが死ぬとここに帰ってくる。これが基本よ。忘れないようにね。
But how does he possess other person then? I see. I wondered what had happened when she showed me off. Apparently it was also meant to be a lesson. But didn't you go a bit too far? You didn't have to kill him.
殺したんじゃないわ。
No, you just killed me, didn't you?
眠らせてあげただけよ。永遠に。
You killed him, damn it! Her reply was flat. Even though she just killed the man, her voice betrayed no strong emotion. She put the sandwich and the rice bowl from a convenience store bag, looking completely unconcerned. Hey, can you give me one?
いやよ。そこにいる限り死ぬことはないから。でも起きてる間はお腹も減るし、年も取るからね。
She essentially meant that you just don't die. Then what should I do?
早く寝た方がいい。
Hey, where are you going?
明日には誰か連れてきてあげるから。
What's up with her? She had always been calm, but now she seemed completely emotionless. Either that or she hated me. Or both. The next day or so I thought. There was no sense of time here. The thick closed curtains erased any information from the outside world. The light visible through the tiny gap allowed you to make out just barely whether it was night or day.
お待たせ。
I looked over and saw her there, sullen as usual. Next to her was a very familiar young woman. So don't lie to me that that was an unfamiliar woman. It's a very familiar woman. A smart suit, long curly hair, habit, strong-willed. Apparently she's still in a half-asleep state. She was swaying and seemed half unconscious. Most likely, like last time, she had been given some kind of drug while she was napping and brought here.
じゃあ、さっさと取り付きなさい。
Got it. Gazing at the swaying woman, I concentrated. And boom!
それじゃ、行くわよ。
It's so bright! Today had another white, clear blue June sky. My eyes took some time to adjust after all the time in the dark. So, we are going to take possession of another person?
ええ、その方が硬いわね。
But you keep staying in the same body. How does it work? She looked around as she spoke. The weather was nice and it was early, so there were many people in the area. Why is he not curious about that? Am I the only one? Hey, how about that kidnapping over there?
別に誰でもいいけど。できれば大人の方がいいわ。
Why?
もし殺すことになっても、あんまり気が病まないでしょ。
The only question that comes to mind is, what is wrong with you? Why are you thinking about killing so often? The word kill came out without any change in her expression. She probably actually believed that. From what I've seen of her, she didn't seem likely to hesitate over killing the person she was possessing. Oh yeah, about last night. Regardless of what happened, wasn't killing that guy going a little too far? I went back over what happened then. She got into an argument with a guy hitting on me, got annoyed with him, and apparently decided it was reason enough to kill him. You didn't have to kill him just because you were a bit angry at him, did you? That was my assessment. Plus, finding a temporary home was harder than I originally thought, and it was pointless to lose a temporary home like that. Isn't it best to try to avoid killing as much as possible? Yes. Huh?
まあいいわ。試しに一人でやってみれば。私は口出ししないから。
What? Hey, wait a minute! Ignoring my call to stop her, she went off somewhere. Well, fine. It's not like I have to be with her. Plus, I was sick of her gloominess, and I was getting tired of the inscrutable, mysterious act. There would be less collateral damage if I just possessed people on my own, especially considering how readily she'd kill people. And so, for a while, I acted alone. I thought I'd try to jump from one person to another because I thought it would be easier and more fun to use the power that way. It was a good sunny hour, so as long as the weather stayed nice, there was an endless supply of people napping in the parks and trains. I'd received this power after all. Depending on how I thought about it, surely there was a way it could be amazing. Thinking that, I was hoping from person to person. The result was this duster. I possessed triple and never once had a good experience. It was something I had sensed the other day. But in modern times there's nobody free of connections, especially in cities and metropolitan areas. It was even true of young men. If someone disappeared suddenly, you had about 2 days. Their family and acquaintances would make a fuse very quickly. For kids and women, the limit was 1 day, and in the case of the elderly, well, their children would raise the alarm. You know, I know it might be a little late for me to realize that, but I think I kind of get the idea where this might be going. Somehow, you might end up on the 7th floor of a certain place and start possessing the people over there, because they actually sleep a lot. Well, we'll see if this will come to that. When the world becomes so full of all words, I blurted out without thinking. For if the person just couldn't be seen at the time, it was probably less of an issue. I had a feeling that cell phones played a role as well. When everyone has a way to connect with each other anytime, anywhere, and suddenly there's no elsewhere, that's when people start worrying. Well, ignoring that and just enjoying possessed life might have been fine. But I couldn't become a complete villain like her.
ねえ、まだやるの?
Well, look, there she was. How long had she been there?
そろそろ諦めてもいいんじゃない?
No, I can try a bit more.
好きにすればいいわ。
Her way of speaking made it sound like she was making fun of me, or like she was fed up with me. A further 2 days later, I'm pretty tired. I collapsed onto a park bench thoughtlessly. This must be what the old guy meant when he talked about being tired. If you possessed someone, you'd never grow old or die. However, it was a huge amount of work to look for a new person every day. For kids and women, there were times when you couldn't even last half a day. If you were unlucky, they'd even come looking for you using the phone's GPS. It was amusing at first, so I wasn't too bothered, but after days in the body, I'd assumed the police had received a missing person report, and just the sound of a patrol car would make me skittish. My mental state would have been a bit like a free leaves. If anything, maybe I should be thinking of it as a temporary home. Instead of switching every few days, it might be easier to possess a single person. In a way, it would be best to just take over someone's life. Of course, I had no idea if that sort of thing could be forgiven.
そろそろ疲れてきたみたいね。
So basically, he might mean not the 7th floor I thought about, but basically a person in a coma. For that would also raise the freaking awareness. Oh, it's you. Again, she suddenly appeared in front of me.
もう諦めたら。
Give up? Give what up?
いろいろよ。あのベッドで眠った時から、もう逃れられないのよ。
As usual, the thing she said made no sense. That's not true. I just had a great idea.
狩宿ではなく、完全に誰かになり変わるつもりね。
No. So what if I am?
私が眠らせてあげたのと、どう違うのだろうね。
Suddenly, faced with such deep words, I couldn't say anything. I was on the verge of forgetting that she wasn't really a little girl, even though she looked like it. This reminded me that the one sleeping on that bed was a grown woman. Whatever, I'm going to try doing things my way. It wasn't like I was talking their entire life, just borrowing a few years of it. It was probably more constructive than spending all my time looking for temporary homes as I did now. I left the area as if ignoring her. First, I decided to search for a man around the same age as myself. I figured it would be easier to find someone around my age with the same last name, since this would be a few years rather than a few days. I wondered if that person would work. I had my eye on a young man napping in the hospital waiting room. After I had made sure no one else was around, I approached him quietly. And looking at him, I concentrated. And so I'm the same guy as previously. Well, and you've become a doctor. God damn it. Well, that explains the mistakes that someone are made by doctors. Looks like I took possession of his successfully. I was wearing a crisp white shirt with an ironed necktie, as well as a pair of glasses typical of a neurotic personality that hinted at being a high performer. Now all I had to do was become this person. There would be trouble at first, of course, but I wasn't going to abandon my temporary home over that. Wait a second. Alright, maybe we'll actually end up on the 7th floor. Well, for now, I'll just pretend I'm exhausted or have amnesia or something. Oh, Dr. Mochizuki, what are you doing here? Suddenly a woman spoke to me. Obviously, I didn't know her, but it was probably someone who knew me. Weren't you supposed to be going to the university today? Sorry, I'm not feeling all that well. You can't go like that. Please take care of yourself. For now, looks like I can cover things up with this. From there, I'd managed to dodge people's questions skillfully by saying I wasn't feeling well or I'd forgotten something. Apparently, this person's family and friends were good people, and no one looked at me oddly. At this rate, I might be able to get used to things pretty quickly. The surroundings were also good. I was tempted to leave like this forever, but I had a feeling that would be unforgivable. And then, 2 days later, night came. I was locked in my room. What? Oh, it's you. Well, don't scare me. Suddenly she appeared before me. She always did that, showing up out of nowhere and freaked me out.
そろそろ移った方がいいわよ。
Move on?
あの部屋を出てから間もなく5日になる。長くても1週間。
Why must I?
死ぬから。
What's that supposed to mean? I may be immortal, but there are so many demerits, it's hardly worth it. Even without this new information, just too much work.
私が決めたことじゃないわ。
For some reason she looked indignant as she answered me. Well, it's not like complaining to her would change anything. I've still got 2 days until my week's up. I'll go back then.
無理に帰ってこなくても大丈夫だけどね。
Saying that, she left the room. The things she says are so full of doodles, I just can't take a liking to her. And here she said she'd stay with me a while to teach me to use the powers of possession. Okay. Okay. You abandoned her. So don't complain about her not teaching you here. When in reality she let me do whatever I wanted, appeared out of nowhere once in a while, said a few things and left. Just what sort of plans did she have? The next day, I was on the computer at work, staring at data that I didn't really understand. Suddenly I was hit by something that resembled sleepiness. It hadn't been that long since I woke up, and yet it was almost irresistible. Eventually my consciousness suddenly faded in the distance. Where is this? The words came out, and all on their own, or rather it was me who said them, but this person. What was that? Is something wrong? You are Miss Takefuji? Yeah, that's correct. I was conversing without my volition. I was watching the conversation between the two as if it were a dream. Could it be that the original consciousness was trying to wake up? Shaking my hand strongly, I chased the sleepiness away. It felt like if I didn't do that, my consciousness might fade away. Is something wrong? Sorry, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. I just barely made that reply. Come think of it, she had said that the amount of time the person could be possessed varied. Saying like this was a bad idea. I didn't know the reason, but I needed to find a new body quickly. I ran for the exit right in front of me. Oh, doctor, where are you going? Ignoring that, I ran down the hall and outside. I then crossed 2 intersections and was touching the park in front of me. My consciousness went white. Where's... It was perfectly dark. I slowly set myself up. So when you're thrown out of your temporary home, you also come back here. Apparently it's the same as dying. The room was closed off by heavy curtains. It was dark and you couldn't really see anything. And as I thought to open the curtains, I had the realization. I can't get off the bed. It wasn't that I couldn't physically get off, I just had to put my feet down. But if I did that, I would die. I'd been told that, and the old guy I met at the beginning of all this had died. So I have no choice but to wait until someone comes here. Of course I had heard that even if I starved, I wouldn't die. However, I didn't think anyone would come here. Meaning that I couldn't do anything except wait for her to come. Staying awake meant getting hungry and apparently even aging. So I guess it's go to sleep. Muttering that, I glanced at the neighboring bed. In the darkness, I could faintly see a young woman. She seemed almost the same age as myself. Apparently this was her real body. She breathed quietly and continued to sleep. I continued to stare at that figure. There was nothing to do. Nothing I could do. Eventually I got bored of even that, and I closed my eyes and decided to sleep, too. 1 week later, I think. There was no clock and I'd been sleeping a lot, so I had no idea how long it had really been. There was no sense of time here. I was still in that dim room. During that week, I would wake up on occasion and just stare at the girl next to me.
少しは理解した?
Saying that, she suddenly showed up. I guess. Taking possession of someone was easy, and from there it'd be easy to leave. However, it was difficult to stay the same person, just like what I felt the other day. The control over consciousness probably weakened over the days.
もちろん、個体差もある。
What you said before about how it depends on the person.
そうよ。意志力が強い相手は長いできない。
More concretely, that would be?
有名人や大会社の社長なんかだと一日持たない。下手すると数時間ね。
I see, that makes sense in a way. It seemed that ultimately it was because the person was sleeping that we were able to possess them. Then the opposite, superficial people who seem to be weak-willed, they last longer?
まあね。それじゃ。
Hey! Wait, you're not going to bring someone for me?
気が向いたらね。まだ寝足りないでしょ。
Eh? She said it without any hesitation, after she had already left me here for an entire week. Next to her was her quietly sleeping body, the person that I had been looking at this whole week. Hey, just one question. Who are you?
Huh?
There wasn't any real response. She just started walking to the wall, and suddenly opened the window.
もし私がここから飛び降りたら、どうなると思う？
Well, you would wake up in the other body and we would be basically fucked up because no one would be able to bring another person. Right? Well, you'd die. There wasn't a single person who could fall from the 7th floor and survive.
そうね。死ぬわね。
Saying that, she looked at the bed next to me. More precisely, she was looking at herself sleeping on the bed. I see, I got what she wanted to say. If right now she jumped from the window, she'd die. And if she died, then her body would awaken in the bed next to me. That meant that the two of us wouldn't be able to move from this place. Unless someone came to this unlikely destination. It would not be the two of us on these narrow beds, undying. Forever.
つまり、そういうことよ。
And with those final words, she left the room. Not through the window, of course. I still have no idea who she really is, but it was dangerous to come back to the beds alone, especially accounting for potential accidents. That applied not just to me, but to her as well. I'm still not sure if she's an ally, but at least I know she's not an enemy. Looking back, she had said, "Don't just go dying on your own," to the old guy who died. I get a feeling I understood those words a little bit now. Another week later. There was still no sense of time. I just barely grasped that much time had passed. When I looked, her usual sullen face was there. And next to her, there was a very familiar young woman again. But with scratches for some reason on her face. But yeah. From her unsteady footsteps, she was probably brought here. A smart suit, long curly hair, a bit strong-willed.
これに懲りたら、無茶はしないようにね。
Yeah, I got it. What do you mean? While answering, I looked at the woman and strongly willed. The sky was very clear. Today's June sky was fair weather. My eyes were slightly dazzled, I realized it had been 2 weeks since I last gone outside.
お腹が減ったわ。
Again? I've got this image of her always wanting to eat. Just how hungry was she? If only I was the one who had eaten 2 weeks.
何か買ってきてよ。
You say that, but this person doesn't really have any money. I answered while taking a wallet from my pocket. As always, it was all cards and next to no cash.
それじゃ、さっさと誰かに。
She trailed over.
あなたは
I looked up and saw an unfamiliar woman that looked very familiar. She was wearing a white nurse's outfit and had long curly hair. She seemed a bit strong-willed.
逃げるわよ。
Huh? What?
待ちなさい！逃がさないわよ！
In an instant, the girl ran. I chased after her as fast as I could. Just what was going on? Hey, I'm not letting you outside! And now another woman was chasing us. Hey, what is this?
今は黙って逃げるのよ。
And after running a while, she finally stopped. We seemed to have lost these people and were catching our breath on the sidewalk. Just what were those people? We are being chased, but we're both in temporary homes, so no one should have known who we were. And it might have been my imagination, but they weren't chasing me. They were chasing this girl. Are they dead girls? I mean, your temporary home's guardians or something?
違うわ。敵よ。
Eh? Enemies? What the hell is that? There's even enemies now. This power's already got all these inconveniences. There's downsides everywhere.
それを私に言うの。
No, that's not what I meant.
あら、こんなところに隠れていたのね。
They're back. Some strange woman.
まあ、探しましたよ。心配させないでくださいね。
She spoke gently, smiling, but her eyes weren't smiling.
それじゃ、もう楽になりましょうね。
Are we comfortably running away? She approached me for some reason as she spoke. I wasn't sure why, but for some reason I felt fear. Hey, what now?
気をつけて。目からレーザー出すから。
What, lasers? And when I turned towards the girl? Nothing. When did she? Like smoke, she had disappeared.
大丈夫ですよ。少し、チクッとするだけですからね。
Oh! Do I run? I could try to resist, but I wasn't confident that I could. Right now, I was in a woman's body. Even if I fought with everything I had, I'm not sure if I could win. Thinking that I meant to run for it, but...
いい子だから、世話焼かさないでね。
Ow! In that instant, pain shot up my arm. I reflexively twisted my body to fight.
ダメですよ。じっとしててくれないと。
Saying that again and again and again, she stubbornly kept stopping something into my arm. Stop it, madame! Do you hate me or something?
おばさん？
Oh.
誰がおばさんよ。ったく、うちの子も小さいのに手間かけさせんな。
For some reason, I couldn't move and I just kept getting stopped. At some point, my consciousness felt distant and slowly my body grew cold. Looks like I was going to die again. Well, I guess we'll know the answer in the next one. But you know, assuming that there were nurses, I guess she really decided to bring someone in a coma. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, the Sleeping Princess chapter. So yeah, bye bye.